Welcome to the Cina Rising Stars Showcase interview. I am Yukai Chow, and today we have two amazing individuals here to talk about their startup Alohar. Over here we have Sam Liang and Larry Wang. How are you guys doing?
Very good. It's a great pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure for me to be here too with you guys. So in a few sentences, why don't you tell me what Alohar is?
Yeah, Alohar Mobile is a ambient intelligence company. The goal is to make your cell phone smarter and to be able to understand the user's behavior so that mobile applications can automatically understand users' behavior and provide services based on the context, based on your favorites, your interest, and the current context as well. So the goal is to move over Siri. Siri is being perceived as a personal assistant, but we want to build something that are even smarter.
Cool. And what problem would you say that your application solves?
The problem we're trying to solve is that most of the current mobile applications, we see them are pretty dumb because they are a straight port of PC applications from either Windows or Mac or web applications. They're not really designed to understand users' mobile behavior. Like, it doesn't know whether you are working out in a gym or whether you are shopping in Best Buy or having coffee in Starbucks. Using our system, we try to make your phone to be so smart that without manually check in or without telling the phone, your phone can actually understand what you're doing. Then it can customize every app based on that knowledge.
Okay. So right now out there's a lot of mobile apps that detect location, right? There's things like Foursquare that you can check into a gym, coffee shop. And what you're saying is that your application allows people to check in, allows your mobile to learn about what you're doing without taking out your phone, unlocking it, and checking in.
Right. Foursquare is pretty cool. They invented this checking game a few years ago. But the problem we see is people are getting some kind of a check-in fatigue because it requires the user, when they are visiting a restaurant, for example, it requires the user to take out their phone and enter the key or the passcode, open the app, and do a lot of user actions in order to check in. That in a social environment, it's actually in some sense intrusive or even weird because when you're talking to your friend, you don't want to spend another a minute to try to check in. And also for a lot of other places, when you're go to the gym or when you're shopping in Best Buy, actually very people actually do the manual check-in there because it doesn't really give them any benefit. The system we build is able to detect all that activities without asking the user to do any manual operation. So the phone is so intelligent that although it's sitting quietly in the background, but it becomes so intelligent that somehow it becomes your personal butler. It follows you. It understands how fast you're driving, understand whether you are parking your car, understand when you enter the store. Then based on all of that knowledge, your phone can offer recommendations, suggestions, with reminders to you automatically.
Okay, so I understand there's a few geofencing companies out there. How is this different from geofencing?
Right, geofencing is a technology has been around for a while. It's useful. The way it works is that you draw a circle around a place, and when you enter or leave that circle, it will trigger an event, and then you can do something with it. It's convenient for certain applications when you know where you're going. But what we see is most of the time people actually, especially in the weekends, actually people go to places that are not previously planned. So our system doesn't require that prior knowledge in order to understand, which store you're visiting, which restaurants you're going to have lunch at. This, especially, when you are shopping on something like Black Friday, a lot of stores you just go to, without a prior planning. Our system can still detect that and can offer assistance on the spot.
Okay. But I do understand that location-based services with utilizing GPS is one of the largest battery burners. So it sounds like you have this application on all the time, detecting where you're going automatically. Wouldn't that drain out people's batteries?
Right, that's one of the biggest challenges this type of system would face. And that's also one of our biggest advantages, because we designed an adaptive sampling algorithm that runs in the background persistently but not continuously, in the sense that we use low power sensors to monitor the behavior of the user and use that to determine when to turn on or turn out GPS. A very simple idea is that when we are having a meeting here for an hour, our system can detect that the user is actually stationary most of the time, and the Wi-Fi signals is now changing. The speed is very low. So we figured that, okay, the user is probably not moving around. So we dynamically turn it up. But at the end of the meeting, we pick up the phone and we start walking. So we detect that motion information, and we detect that the speed is changing. The Wi-Fi signal environment is changing as well. And that at that moment, we dynamically turn on GPS. So the idea is to have this system running, persistently, and also to minimize or eliminate the user menu interaction.
Oh, that's very clever.
Yeah.
So it intelligently turns on and off based on predicting whether you are moving around or not. So it sounds like you guys have your app open all the time. It's always running in the background, and you never have problems with your phone not running out of battery when you do your usual phone calls and whatnot.
Yeah, the user can still use their phone normally. They can still make phone calls. They can still, browse the web and check their email. Obviously, this is not perfect yet, but as long as you recharge your phone every night, so most of the time, it doesn't disrupt your normal usage of your phone.
Great. And just for our audience to understand the context, are you guys a mobile app, or are you a back-end platform API that developers can utilize?
Yeah, we see ourselves as a mobile intelligence platform. So we build this system that runs on both iPhone and Android, and another system that runs in the cloud that analyze all the sensor data we collect on the phone and automatically understand users' behavior. And we make this system available to the public developers. Everybody can download the SDK and integrate this system into their app, or create new apps that can take advantage of all the intelligence functions. So we have been, we launched this a couple months ago, and so far we have signed up more than 1,000 developers.
Wow.
Some major guys like Evernote is forming a partnership with us so that their users can get their daily diary automatically. Other companies, some are public companies we cannot talk about at this moment, but in a few months you're going to see a lot of new apps coming out using this platform.
Oh, it sounds like, Apple just launched their new iOS with their own maps. They sounds like they could take advantage of your API if possible, right? Cool. So there's a lot of companies out there saying, they have some kind of innovation in mobile, but I think you actually are one of the people who have the most credibility in the industry. Do you want to talk about your background for a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the most credible, but I do have a lot of experience with mobile applications and especially location-based applications. I myself got my PhD from Stanford about 10 years ago. Later on, I joined Google. The major project I did was I started the Google Location Server project that built a backend system that built a global location database based on cell tower and Wi-Fi. And that system actually enables the blue dot on Google Mobile Map, which are being used by hundreds of millions of people.
Oh, so you're the creator of that blue dot that everyone uses on Google Maps?
I wouldn't say I didn't design that particular UI. It's built by a large team of very talented people, but I did play a very critical role designing and architecting the backend system that enables the blue dot. I myself also designed the open API for Android, for iPhone, for BlackBerry and Windows to use Google's location system as well. On top of that, I designed the early Google Latitude application, which is one of the early mobile social applications. So with that knowledge, we are in Alohar. I left Google in 2010 to start the Alohar project. The goal is to take another leap forward beyond what Google is capable of doing. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned earlier, we want to make your phone much smarter that can understand you. And while doing that, I met Larry also from Stanford. We got together and realized that this is going to be a huge opportunity.
Great. So why don't you talk about your background?
So I got my bachelor's in physics and psychology from Beijing University, and I came to Stanford. Initially, my PhD research was in simulation physics. It's kind of computes materials physics properties. But I switched computer science and got a computer science master. During I was at Stanford, I created 36 Facebook applications that reached 9 million users. Mm-hmm. That's why I become an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. It's so exciting.
1 million users?
9 million.
9 million users, that's good.
In 2007, 2008, in 1 year. Then I prepared myself to be a good entrepreneur. So I work at a small company called Colaris, and then I switched to a medium-sized company called Rockio, and then I work at Yahoo, and then I fully joined Alohar. We work together on the most wonderful.
So what excites you about the Alohar project that makes you want to join it?
Actually, this idea come before I joined. So we talked. We have the brainstorming session, and we come up some amazing ideas, and then I feel the mobile location is the right area. It's at the right time now. So that's my motivation.
Great, awesome. So right now I'm very curious to see your app, your product in action. Can I check it out, a demo?
Yeah, I'd be happy to show you a demo. So we built a platform that can do this kind of automatic user behavior detection. On top of that, we built our own demo app called PlaceMe, which runs on both Android and iPhone. Here, let me show you what it looks like. On this screen, it shows my life on Friday, November 25th, 2011. That's a Black Friday. 2 minutes before midnight, I was visiting Best Buy on the top, but because there are too many people waiting there, I decided to go home after only 10 minutes. Second morning, I visited Fry's and Office Max and Sushi 85 to have lunch there. You can see that the arrival time is displayed. In this case, we don't require the user to manually check in. All of these places are automatically detected using Alohar's persistent sensing system. In the evening, I had lunch at the Cina Chinese restaurant. Our system can detect the place name automatically. This is just a one-day data, and if you look at some more places I've been to in the past, over 1 year, I've been to 753 places, and I can search for a restaurant, and it will display all my restaurant visit with the number of times. You can see quickly which one is my favorite. At the bottom, you can see Hunan Homes, which I visited 17 times. I can also search for other things like, tennis, and it will find all the tennis courts I have visited to play tennis. This one is the tennis court in Stanford, which I visited many times and played a lot of tennis there. So you can use this system to keep track of your fitness. This one shows all the users globally using our system. You can see a lot of users in San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles and on the East Coast. We also see a lot of users in Europe, such as London and Germany and Netherlands. Also in Asia, a lot of users in Japan and Korea. Even users in some large cities in Australia. So this is a globally available system.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't you share what stage are you guys at for the company, and what are your goals for the next 6 months?
Right. We are still relatively early. We have less than 10 people working, some full-time, some contractors. We are actually growing really fast because we are getting a lot of new partners trying to put this system in their applications, either a virtual personal assistant or mobile safety applications, mobile shopping applications, and other things like even mobile dating. They want to use its knowledge to understand who should date who, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who are live in the neighborhood, and maybe they both like golf, or they both like tennis, but they don't know each other. That kind of social applications also want to take advantage of this mobile intelligence. So we need to grow. We actually raised a pretty good angel round last year with some really good investors, such as Tim Draper from DFJ and David Charlton, who invested in Google with his very first check to Google. He actually still owns 1% of a Google stock. I did my PhD with David Charlton at Stanford. So when I went to him after I left Google and described this vision to him, he immediately recognized, it's going to change the mobile world. So very soon, in the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to raise another round. So we're looking for really good VCs who can help us, build a game-changing platform. In the meantime, we're also recruiting new engineers to join us, join the mission, and build a really smart system that can enable hundreds or thousands of intelligent applications.
Great. So here we have Alohar, an amazing, revolutionary mobile technology that Sam Liang started along with a few co-founders. And I think this company has a lot of potential because Sam Liang is one of the starters of the Google location services that everyone's using right now. So if there's anyone who can say something is better than what Google is doing right now, it's definitely Sam. And so if you are a developer, or if you're an investor, and you're looking for much better technology that will revolutionize the mobile industry, definitely check out Alohar at the Cina showcase. Thank you.